lead us, there are blinding. And all the lights that light the way are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. 'Cause maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're now underworld.
Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who's there. Feeling unknown and you're all alone, flesh and bone by the telephone. Lift up the receiver, I'll make you a believer. Taste it can best, put me to the test. Things on your chest you need to confess. I was a believer, you know I'm a forgiver. Reach out and touch faith. Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who's there. Feeling unknown and you're all alone, flesh and bone by the telephone. Lift up the receiver, I'll make you a believer. I was a believer, you know I'm a forgiver. Reach out and touch faith. Your own personal Jesus, your own personal Jesus, your own personal Jesus. Reach out and touch faith.
Suicide blonde, suicide blonde, suicide blonde, suicide blonde. Suicide blonde was the color of her hair, like a cheap preparation for a new affair. She knew it would finish before it began. Something tells me you lost the plan. You wanna make her suicide blonde, love devastation, suicide blonde. You wanna make her suicide blonde, love devastation, suicide blonde. Just drift to the beats, but her clothes stayed on. White light everywhere, but you can't see a thing. Not to squeeze, a mad, sad moment. Glory to you, take me there. Got some revelation put into your hands, save you from your misery like rain across the land. Don't you see the color of deception turning your world around again? You wanna make her suicide blonde, love devastation, suicide blonde. You wanna make her suicide blonde, love devastation, suicide blonde. You wanna make her love devastation, blonde, suicide blonde.
In my eyes, in this pose, in disguise as no one knows, hides a face, lies a snake. The sun in my disgrace, boiling heat, summer's tense. Neither black, the sky looks there. Call my name through the cream, and I'll hear you scream again. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away till you all just disappear like a sun. Won't you come and wash away the rain like a sun? Won't you come? Won't you come like a sun? Won't you come? Won't you come?
When I look into your eyes, I can see a love restrained. But darling, when I hold you, don't you know I feel the same? 'Cause nothing lasts forever, and we both know hearts can change. And it's hard to hold a candle in the cold November rain. We've been through this such a long, long time, just trying to kill the pain. But lovers always come and lovers always go. I know one's really sure was letting go today. Walking away, if we could take the time to lay it on the line, I could rest my head just knowing that you were mine.
Welcome everyone to Tropical Wuppertal. Hey everyone. Woohoo! Jesus Christ, I'm sticky already. Welcome again, an award show with 3 awards today. The first one is the OOC German Sustainable Housing Award, followed by an EC Award and another OOC. But first, to again have a deeper look into what the German Sustainable Housing Award is, I welcome on stage the chairman of the GDW, the Gesamtverband der deutschen Wohnungswirtschaft, Dr. Christian Lieberknecht.
Hello, everybody. Tropical Wuppertal. That's a nice saying, I think.
Yeah.
So, who is GDW? GDW is the largest housing association in Germany. We represent about 3,000 housing firms with 6 million dwellings around and about 15 million people living in there. 15 out of 83 million is quite a number. And we also manage 2/3 of the social housing in Germany. So what's the daily business like of our housing firms, of our members? It's about new construction, it's about refurbishment, greenhouse gas reduction, it's about age-appropriate conversion, it's about digitalization, neighborhood development, and urban redevelopment. So all of these tasks are daily business, and I think it's no problem to do this at high costs, at high rents, so to charge the tenants with high rents. But the challenge for our housing firms, and that's what they work for every day, is to do this at appropriate prices, at fair rents. And this background included, we decided last year to implement to offer an award, the German Sustainable Housing Award, which takes up these challenges and evaluates the teams projects according to the following criteria. I just want to name these criteria so that it's common among you. So first, it's the suitability for serial or modular construction and refurbishment. Second criterion, expected practical energy efficiency in everyday life when rented out. That's a very important point, I think. Third, construction costs, management costs, energy costs. Fourth point is urban planning quality. The fifth criterion, quality of the floor plans and adaptability. And the last one, the indoor air quality, which is characterized by I think, a witty question, which says, does it smell on site? And this includes also the ecological building materials, deconstructibility and recycling. And taking these criteria, we have a jury implemented, walked around today and looked at the different projects, and just the names of the jury so that you know who was there. It's Dr. Thomas Hein, who is CEO of the Nassauische Heimstätte GmbH, there on the right side. It's Dr. Oliver Gewand from GDW, he's head of urban development. It's Dietmar Jonscher, managing director of the cooperative Gewobag Nord, sitting in the front row. And it's Hiram Kala from VDW in Lower Saxony and Bremen. He's head of technology right there. It's Christoph Rasche from a big municipal company in Berlin. He's an architect. Hans Sartoris, sitting in the first row, CEO of Stadtbau Würzburg, also a municipal company in Würzburg in Bavaria. And it's Fabian Fierich, last not least, head of building and technology at GDW. So much for the introduction. And I want to give back to Wilma Werner in this tropical environment. And thanks for listening. And I'm very glad to be here. Just one sentence. I'm very glad to be here to see all this engagement and this innovation and this. I think this is what we need, because times like this, since the end of January, we see that all of that, what you're doing, what you offer the world, I want to say, is very, very important. And it's also very important for our companies to learn from you. Maybe it's also important to learn from our companies, so it's a vice versa direction. But just to say, I'm very glad to be here and to offer this award, and we will do this again, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, we come to the winners. And I'd like to join me on stage, the jury chairman, Dietmar Jonscher. Hi. Plus, we have a premiere, because I'll be announcing the winners today. Woohoo! Once in a lifetime, I'll be the one. So, making the noise. Bit nervous. This team convinced the jury with the unusual facade, the high suitability and prefabrication and serial construction methods, and the diverse and flexible flat typologies can be realized. The jury considers housing economy issues such as management and operating costs to be well taken into account. The third place of the German Sustainable Housing Award goes to the team from Delft. Well, Congratulations, Team Sun. You know the drill. Who takes the mic?
Does it work already? Yes, okay. I think first, thank you very much for the third prize. We're so honored to be on stage again for the social housing and sustainable housing. I think we want to thank, first of all, the team as well. And we've been working so hard for 3 years to create a sustainable and also an affordable option for social housing and to truly make sustainability a reachable goal for everybody, which I think is very important. So thank you again.
Next on stage will be the Association Director of the VDW Rheinland-Westfalen, who's very sportive as well, Alexander Richter. Welcome on stage. May I guess, by the way, you run, don't you? You run for sports?
Every weekend and early sport on Thursday
Okay, so you do.
at 6 o'clock a.m.
Really?
Yeah, really.
They're very disciplined. I could see that. I have an eye for that. So, second place. Special qualities in sustainability. The concerns of the circular economy are taken into account to a special degree. A special feature of this project is the innovative use of renewable raw materials in all components and their separability. Consistent implementation of the idea of sustainability in all aspects, that's what the jury said. Careful use of resources, and in terms of urban development, this is an interesting building block with a high degree on attention. The second place goes to the team of Karlsruhe. Roof Kids!
First speech. So, yeah, it's an honor to be here again on stage, and we are thankful for the next OOC. Thank you.
and to help announce the first place, Dr. Christian Lieberknecht. It's a secret, okay? So, this project fulfills the individual criteria for assessment to a high degree. It should be emphasized in particular that the convex and concave facade design succeeds in finding a form that can be adapted to different urban situations. The residents are playfully inspired to consume energy according to need, because this is the building block for balanced load management. The example of the extension is highly transferable. The first place of the German sustainable housing goes to the team from Eindhoven. Virtue.
Thank you. Thank you, team. All right, sure. You hold it, yeah, go ahead. Nice, yeah, we're very thankful for this award. Of course, we've been working towards a sustainable future for people and the industry, but I actually have a funny one here, because I find all of us are working towards sustainable housing and in many different ways. And almost 3 years ago, when we were brainstorming, a member of the team that worked a lot on this shape of the building said, I have an idea. Let's make a sustainable building. And then he was gonna go on, but everyone laughed a long time. So yeah, thank you a lot for the team for putting so much effort in making everyone believe in our sustainable buildings and all the ones out here. Thank you. Spread the ripple.
Dear teams, that was the first of the 3 awards. That was fun. I could do that all night. Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to do. But we will see each other again in half an hour for the EC Award, the Urban Mobility Award, where we have additional further credits to win. See you in half an hour at 6 p.m. Don't get lost, okay? I know where you work. Good, good.
don't suppose I'm coming down. I can see clearly, so high in sky. A man with psychedelic picture frames of happiness to shade his eyes. He's glad, oh, that I found somebody who he can rely on. This is the return of the space cowboy interplanetary good vibe soon. Set at the speed of Chiba. Oh, you and I go deeper. Maybe I have to get high to get by. This is the return of the space cowboy interplanetary good vibe sound. Stay at the speed of Chiba. Oh, you and I go deeper or get high to get by. You and I go deeper. Space cowboy. This is the return.
When you were here before, could look in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so very special. But I'm a creep, and I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. I wanna have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. You're so very special. I wish I was special. But I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Whatever makes you happy, whatever you want. You're so very special. I wish I was special. but I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong here. She wakes up early every morning just to do her hair now, 'cause she cares, yeah. Her day couldn't be right without her makeup. She's never had a makeup. She's just like you and me, but she's homeless. She's homeless. As she stands there singing for money. In my sleep I see her begging, preaching, please. Although her body's not mine, I ask now why, God why? She's just like you and me, but she's homeless. She's homeless. As she stands there singing for money. She's just like you and me, as she stands there singing for money. You and me, we used to be together, every day together, always. I really feel I'm losing my best friend. I can't believe this could be the end. It looks as though you're letting go, and if it's real, well, I don't want to know. Don't speak, I know just what you're saying, so please stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Don't speak, I know just what you're thinking, and I don't need your reasons. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Our memories, they can be inviting, but some are altogether mine, frightening. And as we die, both you and I, with my Don't speak, I know just what you're saying. So please stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Don't speak, I know just what you're thinking. And I don't need your reasons. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Don't speak. You and me, we used to be together, every day together, always. I really feel I'm losing my best friend. I can't believe this could be the end. It looks as though you're letting go. And if it's real, well, I don't want to know. Don't speak, I know just what you're saying. So please stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Don't speak, I know just what you're thinking. And I don't need your reasons. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Our memories, they can be inviting, but some are up to get mine. Frightening. And as we die, both you and I, with my head in my hands and sit and cry. Don't speak, I know just what you're saying. So please stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Don't speak, I know just what you're thinking. And I don't need your reasons. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. It's all ending. I gotta stop pretending who we are. Who we are. You and me, I can see you sighing. Are we? Don't speak, I know just what you're saying. So please stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Don't speak, I know just what you're thinking. And I don't need your reasons. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Don't speak.
Today is gonna be the day that you're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Back there, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you had it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us, they're blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. 'Cause maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonderwall. And all the roads that lead us, they're blinding. And all the lights that light the way are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. 'Cause maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonderwall.
Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers, someone who's there. Feeling unknown and you're all alone. Flesh and bone by the telephone. Lift up the receiver, I'll make you a believer. Taste the best, put me to the test. Things on your chest you need to confess. I will deliver, you know I'm a forgiver. Reach out and touch faith. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to personal Jesus, your own personal Jesus. Reach out and touch faith. Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who's there. Feeling unknown and you're all alone, flesh and bone by the telephone. Lift up the receiver, I'll make you a believer. Taste the best, put me to the test. Things on your test you need to confess. I will deliver, you know I'm a forgiver. Reach out and touch faith. Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who's there. Feeling unknown and you're all alone, flesh and bone by the telephone. Lift up the receiver, I'll make you a believer. I will deliver, you know I'm a forgiver. Reach out and touch faith. Your own personal Jesus, your own personal Jesus, your own personal Jesus. Reach out and touch faith.
Suicide blonde, suicide blonde, suicide blonde, suicide blonde. Suicide blonde was the color of her hair, like a cheap distraction for a new affair. She knew it would finish before it began. Something tells me you lost the plan. You wanna make her suicide blonde, love devastation, suicide blonde. You wanna make her suicide blonde, love devastation, suicide blonde. Don't you see the color of deception turning your world around again? You wanna make her suicide blonde, love devastation, suicide blonde. You wanna make her suicide blonde, love devastation, suicide blonde. You wanna make her love devastation, blonde, suicide blonde.
In my eyes, in this pose, in disguises no one knows, hides the face, lies the snake, the sun in my disgrace, boiling heat, summer's tense. Neath the black, the sky looks thin. Call my name through the cream, and I'll hear you scream again. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Stuttering, cold and dim, still the warm wind, tired friend. Times are gone for honest men, sometimes far too long for snakes. In my shoes, walking sleep. In my youth, I pray to keep heaven send hell away, and no one sings like you anymore. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Hang my head, drown my fear, till you all just disappear. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't
such a long, long time just trying to kill the pain. But lovers always come and lovers always go. I know that's really sure was letting go today. Walking away, if we could take the time to lay it on the line, I could rest my head just knowing that you were mine. So if you want to love me, then darling, don't refrain. Or I'll just stand up walking in the cold November rain. Do you need some time on your own? Do you need some time all alone? Everybody needs some time on their own. Don't you know you need some time all alone? I know it's hard to keep an open heart when even friends seem not to harm you. But if you could heal a broken heart, wouldn't time be out of charm you? Sometimes I need some time on my own. Sometimes I need some time all alone. Everybody needs some time on their own. Don't you know you need some time all alone? And when your fears subside and shadows still remain, oh yeah, I know that you can love me when there's no one left to blame.
So, ladies and gentlemen, brief announcement in order to make sure that everyone stays healthy and hydrated. Because Team Sun wanted to make sure that everyone's hydrated, they placed some water over there. So for those of you who would like to refill their bottles or glasses or mugs or whatever, please feel free. Woohoo!
Don't you think that you need somebody? Don't you think that you need someone? Everybody needs somebody, you're not the only one. Don't you think that you need somebody? Don't you think that you need someone? Everybody needs somebody, you're not the only one.
Here we are, still together. We are one. So much time wasted.
tropical Wuppertal. Everyone hydrated? Welcome back. Thank you. I was negotiating to announce the winners again, but I was not granted that. But that was great fun. Thank you very much. Urban Mobility Awards, so further credits are to be won tonight. In order to get a deeper understanding about the Urban Mobility Award, we will welcome on stage a lady. She's a professor with the Bergische Universität Wuppertal, with the chair of Public Transport and Mobility Management. And she speaks from experience. Not only that, she practices what she preaches, she lives what she researches, because she has been living with her family car-free for 35 years. Please welcome on stage Professor Ulrike Reuter.
Welcome everybody to our Urban Mobility Award ceremony this evening. Well, the transport sector in Germany is responsible for about 20% of the greenhouse gas emissions. So especially private car transport is a significant driver of the global warming problem. So not only the topic of housing, but also the topic of mobility must be transformed so that we can achieve our climate goals. Moreover, since one's own home is usually the starting and the end of a journey, it is important to transform the two topics together. The local level plays a significant role in this. On the local level, we have urban districts like the Mirke in Wuppertal with typical problems and challenges, but also with a lot of positive conditions and drivers for changing mobility behavior. Typical are very narrow pavements, poor conditions for cyclists, and poor conditions for buses due to parked cars in the streets. In addition, poor conditions for using public space. However, there is also a lot of potential for a transportation revolution. We speak in Germany of the Verkehrswende since a few years. For example, where private cars used to park, small hubs are now emerging, so-called mobility hubs. We saw a lot of them in your concepts. They combine car sharing, offers for bicycle parking and bicycle renting, offers for cargo bikes and rental of electric vehicles, and as well as for public transport and on-demand services. In such quarters, we also have often inhabitants and a civil society with ambitious mobility goals, because changing mobility behavior does not work without people. And many of the inhabitants already live, like me, car-free today. In quarters like Mirke, about 30 to 40% are living car-free. And of course, it works. Car-free living people are the future of urban mobility. Well, this mixed situation is the background for the urban mobility competition at the Solar Decathlon Europe in 2022. Therefore, I am very happy that so many architecture students have engaged with the topic of sustainable mobility. You have worked out solutions to reduce car traffic. This was the main task in this discipline. you were to create mobility concepts at the level of the neighborhood in which your building task is also located. So, I think the SDE teams, they found a very good approach to transforming mobility. You presented a lot of very ambitious concepts, ideas and solutions. Thank you very much for this. However, it was not me who did the judging, but our top-class international jury did. So I give to Wilma to introduce our international jury.
Thank you. One of the jurors, Professor Jörg Beckmann, unfortunately couldn't make it to the award ceremony because he fell sick, but he sends his greetings. For the first lecture, I would like to announce a professor from the Bergische Universität Wuppertal. She is head of department of bicycle traffic. And we just met Ulrike, who has been living car-free for the 35 years. And our next juror used to live bicycle-free. Now she's head of department for bicycle traffic. And during the last years, she transitioned to an absolute bicycle fan, which led her to crossing the Alps from Munich to Italy 4 times. Please welcome on stage, Heather Katz. Hello. I'm not a bicycle person. I have to ask you, how long does it take to go from Munich to Italy by bicycle?
Yeah, it depends on the route, of course, but 3 days to a week, something like that.
So a few days.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
You can do it faster, I guess, but yeah, I don't. All right. Okay, well, thank you very much for the introduction. I'm very happy to be here today for a short presentation. I want to start with this picture of my home city. This is Calgary, Alberta, Canada, so North America, different continent. And this right up here is where my house was growing up. And this is a very representative picture of how the road network is in my city. I mean, this looks like a highway, but these are the normal roads that are actually in most of the urban area. And while I lived there growing up, it never crossed my mind that I could go anywhere with my bicycle. I could ride a bicycle, of course, but it was something I did only for fun. And then I went on a trip to Europe, opened my eyes, I came home, and I thought, yeah, I could probably do that too. I could take my bicycle and ride to the university. So I tried. One day I got it out and I tried, and I was riding exactly here at this spot, and there was some gravel on the road, and I slipped out and I fell, and my leg was bleeding and open, and I was sitting there feeling pretty sorry for myself. And a pickup truck stopped, one of these big pickup trucks, not the little ones, the really big ones. He stopped, and I thought, oh, okay. Rolled down the window, leaned out his head, and said, "Serves you right for riding on the road," and sped away, of course, as fast as he can. And I like to tell this story, not just to tell it, but because it shows 2 things for me that are very important. Our mobility behavior, what we think we can do and should do, depends, of course, on the road that we see. The infrastructure that is in place, where we live, where we work, where we study, and where we shop. But also, it sits right up here in the heads of people. What is accepted? What is normal? What do people do? What don't people do? What should people never even think of doing? These things are just ideas that we were born with and have come to accept. Since then, I've lived in a number of cities. I was in Munich for many years. I was in Stuttgart before that, so German cities, and visited some other ones along the way. And now I've landed in the city of Wuppertal, which is very different from the city that I showed you before, but has other obstacles for riding a bicycle. The streets are, of course, very narrow. There's a huge problem, from my view, of parked vehicles littering every single square meter that they can, and there's hardly any bicycle infrastructure. So there are challenges here that are completely different than the ones that I experienced while I was living at home in Canada. This is a comic that I found the basic everyday city of North America. These are the components. Maybe they have different names. Maybe they're shuffled around a little bit, but the basic things that are always there. What do we want? What do we want our cities to look like? What do we want to change? Which direction do we want to go? I love that I found this picture because this is a dream that I have, that one day something will come or somebody and all the cars will just disappear. I don't know where they'll go, but somewhere other than the road that I want to ride my bicycle on. And then we have to think, what will we do with this space? How will I use this space that I've suddenly won, that's not just thrown away to a metal object that's going to stand there all the time? So this is the definition. This is a word we have in German. Ulrike already mentioned it before. The Verkehrswende. What is that? I translated it. I took some liberties, and I call it in English a transportation revolution. And revolution is not too strong, I don't think. It's a complete rethinking of how we have our transportation system. Okay, so how do we get that? What steps, what builds a transportation revolution? First, we can stop moving so much. We can have the 10 or 15 or 20-minute city where everything that we need or want is reachable in a very short distance. And we can work at home like we've experienced during COVID. We just don't go out as much. We don't travel to far corners of the world when we could just meet someone on our computers. Push and pull. We can shift. We can change how we move to different things. We can, instead of using a private car, instead of going by the bus, we can use our legs and try to use something, our own muscles, to get some exercise and move from one place to the other. And the last option that we have is the lowest and least preferable option, is to improve what we have already. Maybe it will become electric. An electric car is good because it doesn't pollute as much, maybe, but it still is dangerous, it still takes up space, and it still makes it that I cannot ride my bike where I want to on these overcrowded roads. So, in my presentation, I want to shift us back to this, moving from one mode to modes that are more sustainable. To put some numbers behind the arguments, this is what we do in Germany from 2002 to 2017, the number of kilometers per person made by cycling. And I tried to find some numbers to convince you guys that this is a good thing to try to shift towards. So from the Bundesamt, the ministry, thank you, says that we save about 139 grams of CO2 equivalents if each kilometer with a bike is replacing one driving in or driving yourself a car. There's also a cost gain. Some researchers in Denmark, which is maybe not Germany or other countries, it's probably different, but they tried to add everything together. So the benefits we have from improved health and saving space and not having to, or accidents, that people don't have to be scraped off the road. What is the cost benefit that we get from that? And they came up with this €1.34 per kilometer replacing a motor vehicle. So then I did some math, and I found out how much was that in 2017. How much would we save if we assume that all of these bike kilometers that were done in Germany replaced the car kilometer? What do we have? And 6.5 million tons of CO2 doesn't seem like a little number to me. It seems like something significant that we can use to help save our planet. But of course, there's also a significant amount of money that was saved in Germany using those numbers. So this is a picture I really like. This machine fights climate change. When you hear this sentence, you expect something that maybe, it takes the CO2 and converts it into something special, and it's a very fancy and complex machine. No, this is a machine that was invented more than 100 years ago and is maybe the simple solution that we need to get the transport of the future. Okay, so quickly, where are we going with cycling? So in big cities in Germany, we started at 9% in 2002. 2017, we were doing much better at 15%. And if we extrapolate that, the next 15 years, we're going to be at 25%. So a quarter of all trips are going to be made by a bicycle if we continue on the same trend by 2032. What about the car use? So riding as a passenger or driving a car. This, luckily, is going down. We were at 55% in 2002. We went down to 38% in 2017. And in our future year, we're going to be at 26. So this is about the same as the modal split that we're going to have with bicycles. So what does that mean? And this is an intersection in Munich that I spend a lot of time looking at with video data. And I counted and analyzed the interactions and did some stuff. But what I just want to tell you here is the numbers that I observed. So I observed, I sat in this really fancy apartment here that I could never afford and watched traffic and found these numbers right here. So there was 525 cyclists and 615 cars per hour. If we look at our trends, if we say it's going to develop like I just told you, in 2032, we're going to have almost double as many cyclists as we have motorists. But let's look at this intersection. We have a bicycle lane, and it's a really nice bicycle lane, right? But look at the space that this bicycle lane takes up compared to this space that's given for cars here, everywhere in the middle. And worse is the parking space. The cars just stand there on the side, too. So what is it? Maybe 80% of this intersection is given to motor vehicles. So we need to think about how this is going in the future and reallocate space in a way that's going to be fair to how people are actually traveling. But, of course, there are very different visions. By using the corridors above the urban railways, we could create a world-class network of safe, car-free cycle routes that are ideally located for commuters. Bicycle highways. Let's get our cyclists going fast to their destination, not interacting, but having a very efficient way to move. Another vision. Our streets are the results of politics of divide and conquer. The traffic engineer's conquest of our common public space. People don't like traffic engineers, but I present this anyways because maybe what we need is not more highways with a different mode of transport, but we need calm traffic zones where people can move and interact and live life in a more calm and safe way. Or maybe the future is a combination of these different solutions. Okay, I want to give you one example from my research that made me think a lot, and maybe it will make you think too. I was working in Munich, and we installed these nice signal measure that tells cyclists how much time they have until the red light is going to come. So how much green time they have until it's going to turn red, and they were going to have to stop. And the idea would be that they can, go really fast and try to get over the signal if they have time, or if they don't have time, they could just leisurely stop and don't have to stop all of a sudden. But the city of Munich said to me, Heather, if we see any increase in running red light, it's going to be a fail for us. We don't want that, and we will take these things away. So I said, okay, yeah, I think so too. That's a fair argument. Let's do it like that. And what I did is I looked at these cyclists right here. So the cyclists who are in front of the stop line in the moments before the light turns red. So the ones who are faced with a decision, do I go or do I stop? And what I found, of course, for the ones who are very, very close when it turns red, they mostly just go over because they can't stop safely. But luckily what I found before we had this countdown timer is this goes down. The red is bad. The red means they don't stop. And the ones who don't stop and run the red light, the further they were away, the more time they had to stop, the more likely they were to stop and wait for the light to change. So that was good and fine before the light or the signal countdown timer was installed. And then I looked at the situation afterwards. Yeah, there's a little bit more red in this diagram, and there's a significant amount more red. There are many more cyclists who run a red light once this information is displayed to them than beforehand. So what did I do? I was a good researcher, and I wrote a paper, and I went to a conference, and I presented my findings and said, everybody, let's maybe not do this. It doesn't seem like a good idea. This is not a good thing to do for bicycle traffic. Let's try something else. And a colleague of mine he's not a colleague of mine, he works at another university, he came and said, he had a picture on his phone and said, Heather, please explain to me what you see in this picture. Pretend that I'm a blind person, I don't see the picture, what is it? And I said, okay, well, odd, weird, but okay. And I said, this is a picture of a deer walking over a road, and it looks like I'm sitting in a car maybe, so I might hit that deer in the next seconds. It's a kind of dangerous situation. It's not looking good for the deer, and maybe not for my car and me either. And my friend or colleague said, yeah, Heather, that was like a really good job of doing a very basic, like cover level or surface level analysis of what this picture is. Could it not be that this is a road crossing the environment of the deer? But this deer didn't ask for the road to be there. He's actually just doing what he normally does as a deer in a forest, and we built infrastructure that got right in his way. And I thought, well, good point, yes, that could be true. And then he said, couldn't that be the same thing with traffic signals? Why do we have traffic signals in our city? What is it that makes traffic signals useful? It's not for cyclists, and it's not for pedestrians. The only way it is, if you think about it, is to keep them out of the way, keep them safe from motor vehicles. If we had a city without them, then maybe we could also have a city without traffic lights. We wouldn't have to stand and press a little button to apply for the possibility to cross a street that's actually just run through with many fast cars. So I was really angry when he said that to me, because I thought, no, we need traffic lights and we need to obey them. It's really important, or else we're going to have chaos in our cities. But since then, I want to question it a little bit more. I want to think, what is it? What rules exist in our society, and for whom are they in place? And when we analyze things or decide which behaviors are bad, on which basis are we doing that? Okay, so with that, I want to end my presentation. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you even more for your interesting house visits. I got a lot of new ideas from young architects or people working on this new sustainable concepts, and I was really glad for that chance and opportunity. And if you'd like, of course, feel free to get in touch with me. I'm always happy to work with new people. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Heather. The next juror is a professor at the Polytechnique Montreal. He works there for the Department of Civil, Geological, and Mining Engineering, and he says, well, actually, he works in Canada, but actually he's Parisien. Went to Canada, and that was brought back to Europe for the SDE. Please welcome on stage Nicolas Saunier.
Thank you very much. Je m'excuse pour mes camarades français. J'étais un peu. I was a little bit of a spy over there because I was listening to them, but you didn't do any mistake. Il n'y avait pas de. C'était correct. Okay, so I don't know if I should apologize. I'm going to try to not make it too academic, make it kind of fun. I don't know how you would please the crowd, so you'll see. I'm going to talk to you about road safety, which is, I think, an important topic, and I don't think so many teams dealt with in terms of mobility. That was sprinkled there. One of the team really made it central, and that was a good thing. I'm going to talk about technology, automated vehicles. I should look here. And sustainability, but also about our behaviors and a little bit about, maybe give you some feedback about what we saw, the mobility visions you presented, and maybe helped you also again, like maybe make you think about this. Okay, so why am I interested in automated vehicles? Okay, why is this crazy idea? I mean, I could also describe myself as a little bit of a geek, so I do like fancy technological things. I could have talked about hyperloops, flying cars, and all those fancy things. They're cool, but why do we need them? Like, do we really need those new technologies? And I think there are a few good reasons for automating traffic. One of them, or the best one, I think, is road safety, because road transport is not safe, okay? Here are some of the numbers for the world. I think we do forget that. When you take your car, you don't really think that you have a chance of dying or killing someone else. That's not fun, but that happens. And we've kind of gotten used to that, because otherwise we probably would not do some of the things we do when we drive. So you have the numbers here, which are estimate, because it's hard also to have these numbers. You'd think that people dying in the streets is something easy to measure, but it's not so easy. So the estimates of the World Health Organization is 1.35 million people each year die on the world's roads. Millions more are severely injured, and that's probably, I don't know if it's worse, but in terms of the burden that it puts on our societies, it's a major issue. Also could mention in relationship to, I guess, many of your designs, many of our concerns for sustainability, a large share of these, a majority of these, are actually vulnerable road users. Which are these? These people who are not protected by a car or any other I guess devices, so pedestrians, cyclists, and those other users. The people we actually want to, the mode of transportation we want to promote. You've probably also seen that statistics before. That's 95% of accidents involve human factors. What do we mean by human factors? More or less somebody's error, you know. So this statistic is often not well understood. We tend to think, okay, if I automate traffic, no one's driving anymore, we're going to decrease accidents by 95%. It's not so, because accidents are complex. And it's, I guess, to some extent a good thing. It's multiple factors that end up where you have an accident, a crash. So it's not because you're distracted and you're looking at your phone or you're talking to your, the passenger or to, you know, doing daydreaming that there is an accident. It's a good thing. It's a combination of those factors. It still means that 95% of accidents do involve some kind of error or some kind of, you know, misevaluation of the situation by the driver. Which means, if you put it the other way around, if you want to get rid of this burden, of this worldwide issue, this public health issue, you do have to automate driving. There's no other way around, because as long as people will be behind the wheel, someone will die at some point. Someone will be inattentive, and there will be a crash. There will be fatalities. I'm not going to spend too much time there, but one key question is, but are they really safer? Like, how do we know this is a solution? Okay? And yeah, it's not easy. There are different ways to do that. That's some of the companies who are doing that. This is the sister company to Google. It started as a Google project. It's now the company called Waymo. They're probably the more advanced, and they'll be driving a lot, quite a bit. This is a million of miles. They stopped publishing this graphic in 2018. But it's still maybe not enough, because when you look at some statistics, you may have one crash on average every maybe 5 million miles in this range. So this car, this fleet of automated cars didn't have a crash in 10 million miles, but maybe neither would have a human. So that's not definitive proof. They do other things. They have simulation. They run those simulation. They have not only real-world testing, they do also those simulations. What's interesting with simulation that they can take real situations and they can vary, test other kind of combinations. You may be near, there may be a kid that will arrive in front of the car, and they can simulate that it comes 1 second, 0.5 seconds, different situation. It comes, different height, different configuration of the street park vehicle. So they can really, really, really do all those testing and come up and really try to make sure that it's safe. I'm going to try a little bit, do a detour to Montreal. It's a nice city. And we happen to have some of these testings in some pilot projects in 2019 in two actually very interesting different settings. On the left, this is Montreal. This is next to the, here at the top you have the Olympic Stadium. So more urban setting. And on the right, you had on the south shore of Montreal, in a suburb, you had a very suburban environment. And also, interestingly, there were two different shuttles, but it's maybe not relevant. So we have some photos. Here, this is Montreal. Here, this is in the suburb, the south shore of Candiac, where you had different sites. You can see the shuttles. I think it's also relevant because many of the teams included those vehicles in their proposals. So I'm going to show you some very complicated graphs, but I'm going to tell you how to read them. What you can see here is that those vehicles, they're always on the right. They're the orange part. This is a distribution. You don't need to, but the numbers are on the vertical axis, and the shuttles drive much slower, which can be an issue in terms of service, but in terms of safety, it is a good thing. And the first thing you should do, and that many of the teams implemented, is reduce speed to improve safety. That's a good thing, and those vehicles are slower. On the left side, every blue distribution are human drivers, standard cars. Acceleration is also pretty good. They are like a bus, public transit, so they want to try to keep a smooth, comfortable ride. and so they don't have much, there's not so much variability. Here it becomes more complicated, but the gist is those are safety indicators. We can compute, we put cameras, all those numbers are from cameras, we extract the movements of the vehicles, we extract the speeds, a little bit like Heather did also for her work, and we look at how dangerous the interactions are. And here, the lower, the better. Again, not necessarily very easy to read, but basically on the right, the higher, the better. So on the right side, for every single site, the shuttle is higher, so it's safer from that point of view compared to human drivers. Another indicator is maybe even more clear. The orange is always higher. This other indicator is the other way around. It was about speed. You want lower speeds, as I said before, and it's also better. Maybe the most interesting graph, again, not necessarily the easiest to read, but it shows kind of the average effect of each type of vehicle. Okay, so the blue is, again, the human drivers, and the orange are the automated shuttles. And they're always above for the first two, so they're safer, and they're lower for the last one, which is about speed, and it's a good thing. But what you'll see also at the bottom is it's their interaction, how they interact with other cars, with pedestrians, and with bicycles. And you see that the shuttles, for some indicators, are much better to deal with vulnerable road users. They are more attentive, they're more, more cautious, and so it's better. It's also interesting to see that the drivers are actually driving faster with pedestrians. Okay, so it's not very good, whereas actually, again, the shuttle is the safest with interacting with pedestrians. So it's very interesting, it's pretty unique results showing in real traffic that some of these automated vehicles are actually safer. You may have read, I won't go too much in details, that the AVs have other advantages. They can provide mobility gains for persons with disabilities, for children, for people who cannot drive. So to some extent, it's a good thing. They can also increase capacity. The good thing is that you don't have to build more roads to have more traffic, which is, depending on how you look at it, a good or a bad thing. But again, you can serve more people on the same infrastructure. And other things that I guess several of the teams mentioned is to reclaim the space that is used for parking. These cars don't need to park so close to where you live. You can reclaim that space. Okay, that's all good. Let's have more automated vehicles in our cities. So, I have a few other elements here which I also think interesting. In the quadrant, in the upper left quadrant, I would be described life without car. This is from Copenhagen Eyes, or the person, the studio, Michael Colville Anderson. Can you spot the difference with life with electric cars? As Heather said, it's interesting for pollution, maybe. Germany, your electricity mix is not good for that, sorry. But what else changes? The space, road safety? No reason it changes. It's not because it's electric, it doesn't kill people. What about life with autonomous vehicles or automated cars? Can you spot the difference? There are more of them. It's debatable. There are many scenarios how they might be deployed. But one possibility, even if there may not be more of them, there may be more on the roads. They may be driving empty. It's expensive to park in downtown, so why would you park it there? You just send it back home. It might even circle the block while you're doing something, while you're working for an hour or two. You have empty vehicles nowadays. You can have less than one average occupancy of cars in your city now. Think about it. So, and again, maybe you've solved road safety issues, but they still take space, that still have other issues. They may not be, again, depending on the scenario, there's many studies based, depending on the assumptions, they may consume more energy. There are quite a bit of issues. You can think of urban sprawl, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think, again, I guess we kind of represent a biased sample here, the three of us who just presented. I also live car-free. I like this picture. Sometimes I need a car, but I prefer to ride my bike. Sometimes it's raining and I take the bus. I want this mix of modes of transportation. I want alternatives. I want to be able to have social interactions. What social interaction did you have recently when you were driving a car? It's hard because you're too fast. Okay, I have one last word of caution. Several of the teams were very fond of what we would call carrots. You know, we want to offer more alternatives, and people are going to change. People are going to change. They're going to cycle because what? Maybe because you prevent people from parking. Okay, that's starting to be interesting because preventing people from parking, then you're starting to push them. You're starting to use sticks. Okay, but what's currently happening when you don't use sticks, when you just provide alternatives? This is a photo I took last Sunday. We went to the botanical garden, and so here is an SUV here. This is a big pickup. I thought I would not see them here because they're very, very, very widespread now in North America. So they start to be here as well. And so when you don't use any sticks, you're starting to see the choices people make may not be the right one. In this case, we know they are doing the wrong choices. The size, the weight of those, the share of those vehicles is increasing year after year. And in North America now, they're the majority. The SUVs are the main type of vehicles people are buying, okay? Because we just want to offer alternatives, and we don't want to meddle with individual choice. Yes, that's what you get, okay? This is the last photo. This is the back alley where we live in Montreal. This is my daughter, Ariane. This is one of these pickups, okay? Do you think the driver can see my daughter when she's riding a bicycle? No, they can't. It's beyond my imagination how those things are allowed on the streets, okay? And this vehicle, the Ford F-150, is the most sold vehicle in Quebec this year and last year. Not just in pickups, among all cars. This is the most common vehicle that is being sold right now, okay? So you have to use other things than carrots. Carrots do not work for this type of problems. You have to regulate them, okay? So in conclusion, I hope I somehow convinced you that there are lots of technological innovation that we can use for the common good. We can have safe road transport that enables active transport. By that I mean, for example, the automated vehicles when we will use them in the right spots because, as you saw, they are more careful with vulnerable road users. And if you're a cyclist, one of the barriers to cycling is that you perceive that it's unsafe. If you know that the other vehicles are automated and will stop for you, then that's one less barrier to cycling. We can have those automated vehicles. One of the best use cases is public transit. They can be on demand. They can serve underserved communities. They can be electric, which is not the main selling point, but again, less pollution in our streets. And I didn't talk too much about e-bikes, but what we should promote as electric vehicles, they're not, again, those pickups. Yes, you can find now the Ford 150 exists as an electric vehicle. It weighs, probably 3 or 4 tons, okay? You want that in your streets? I would prefer not, but yeah. So we can have the type of electric vehicles we should push, that you should push your governments to encourage, to give subsidies, are e-bikes, not electric vehicles. But technology will not get us there by itself. You have to force those choices to some extent. Thank you.
And now, to announce the 3 winning teams of the Urban Mobility Award, Heather and Nicholas are going to come to the... don't touch these envelopes, please, okay? Thank you very much. The two will join the stage together and announce the winners together.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me? Yeah? Okay, so before announcing the third place, first of all, we wanted to really thank all the teams for their efforts, for their participation, for all the great ideas they had. Of course, and the special attentions we had when we visited you. Really thank you. And we really have to say that it was not easy to pick the three winning teams that we're gonna present. So thank you again. Okay, so for the third place,
it's mine, right?
Third? No, third is mine.
You have the second place.
That's
and
a joke, but
I have the third place, right?
Okay.
Right?
You're sure? Oh yes, you're right.
Okay. Okay. Whew. Phew. Okay. This team did an excellent scoping mobility analysis at the regional, city, district, and building levels. Their solutions were formed around the principles of Vision Zero, which, as you know, Nicholas and I both really value: active mobility and livable streets. The neighborhood will be revitalized through living roads with reductions in speed limits and on-street parking. A new pedestrian bridge will access more frequent public transport. A new streetscape, ground-level commercial and communal spaces, and a new courtyard design with improved drainage are all part of the package. Plus, oh wait, one more thing. The solution addresses sustainability as a whole and would improve the quality of life for socially disadvantaged groups while meeting growing housing needs. Plus, the jury really enjoyed the journey out of Germany, which included some tasty treats. Okay, so I guess you can probably guess. But now I will actually look in the envelope to make sure I have the right one. The prize for the third place Urban Mobility Award goes to Team Sam from Delft in the Netherlands.
So thank you for the awards. I'm really happy that this year Solar Decathlon integrated mobility design in the competition as well. Thank you for all the team. Thank you for the jury. And thank you for the SDE. We're really happy with it.
It's the right one now?
It's the right one, yeah.
Okay, so the second place. Are we? Yeah? I don't know. Okay. So the winning team did a comprehensive mobility analysis at the city, district, and building levels. Their stated vision is to reduce the capacity for motorized traffic in Wuppertal, to reclaim space for active and shared mobility, you probably recognize yourself, and to introduce public spaces that will foster social interactions to make residential areas more human and environmentally friendly. Their aim centers around livability, is attractive, visionary, and what we liked especially, feasible. They propose to redesign the streetscape through a pedestrian out route and social hubs to reclaim urban spaces and make them more attractive. This vision is implemented through a detailed phasing plan based on a model for behavioral change. And we would like to also emphasize we really liked the ripple metaphor, and we hope it will spread far and wide. So the winning is, I guess you kind of guessed, but I will open the envelope. Maybe maybe it's someone else. Who is it?
Someone else,
I don't know.
Could be
It's Team
someone else.
Virtue from Eindhoven.
Nice, komm.
Okay, I don't know what to say. I'm so proud. Holy shit. Okay, sorry, I get it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay, I want to say thank you for the award, and I also want to thank the team for sticking with us, because even though we worked really hard, we might have changed the plan a few times just to make sure that it's the best that we can. And I'm really happy with this award. Like, I didn't know what to expect, and this is a lot. So thank you.
Okay, wow, that is great to see so much excitement. Okay, so based on an excellent analysis at the city, district, and building level, in which I really learned a lot, the winning team proposed and visualized a detailed, proactive, and sustainable concept for the Meerkat district that could be used as an example for many European city developments. Examples of their holistic solutions include improving public transport, removing on-street parking in the district, and redesigning streets using modular street furniture and utilization zones, complete with cost estimates and really detailed designs. Also, they considered new technological solutions like automated shuttles and cable cars, which I would love to see personally in Wuppertal. Also, the jury really enjoyed the creative staging of the mobility concept. So, based on that, the winning team for the urban mobility contest is Team Local from Local Plus, from Aachen, Germany.
Well, yeah, thanks. I'm kind of overwhelmed right now, so yeah, worked very hard for that the last 3 years. Thanks for all the team. You had I backed you. You had my back. And well, I can't top the speech of Team Virtue. So fuck yeah, holy shit.
Please come join the stage again. Team Sam and Team Virtue for the group picture. Congratulations to the teams, Some, Virtue, and Local Plus. Just like yesterday, awards are won tonight blow to blow, which is why we move on with the next OOC, which is a special one. Because in this OOC, the Henry Lamke Award is not given to a team. It's given to individual students because they're honored for their theses. And to introduce the award to us, please welcome with me the youngest member of the Presidium of the German Association of Transport Services, the DVVG, which is the largest and most established association for transport scientists in Germany. Kerstin Rosenberger. Ah, there you are.
Thank you, Wilma. Thank you all for having us here today. I'm very impressed of the tempo here in this tent. You're really great teams. But now I will come to the Henry Lamke Prize. The Henry Lamke Prize has already been awarded to more than 20 young scientists since 2003. And we owe this award to a long-time standing member of our society, Mr. Henry Lamke, as you maybe can guess. He was highly committed to support of young graduates in the field of transportation. This year we received some great applications and discussed exciting topics in our jury meeting for quite long. As a result, this award goes this year to 2 great young scientists for the outstanding master theses. One of these is the thesis of Eva Maria Zimmermann, who developed scenarios for long-term role of alternative drives in German rail networks at the Technical University of Berlin. She developed a decision model with different scenarios for the market potential of the traction alternatives with the aim of making potentials and research priorities visible. At this point, the large number of scenarios evaluated and the modularity of the model should be highlighted, which provides numerous opportunities for further research. For my last sentence, I will pick up a quote from her review of the thesis. The work is characterized by excellent content and scientific quality, and is excellent for approaching the question of how the structure of the rail network could change in terms of vehicles and the infrastructure to be built. Dear Mrs. Zimmermann, Eva, you fully deserve the Henry Lamke Award. Congratulations. Please come to stage. Where are you? There. And our second awardee is Mr. Johannes Lindner. He wrote his master thesis at the Technical University of Munich on the topic implementation and realization of a connected simulator study for valid data collection in urban traffic areas. In connected simulator studies, complex traffic scenarios with multiple road users are investigated. In his master thesis, Mr. Lindner studied the interaction between automated vehicles and cyclists with the aim of better investigating the challenges of fully automated driving. For this purpose, he used, among other things, an application that expands the cyclist's range of perception in unclear situations by using communication technology. Mr. Lindner's work is very innovative, and his research method is characterized by a high implementation complexity. Dear Mr. Johannes Lindner, with great respect, we award you this year's Henry Lampke Prize. Come to stage there.
Thank you, Kerstin Rosenberger. Congrats to the winners, to the awardees. As I said, awards are going blow to blow tonight. And we'll come to our last award tonight, which is the Applied Mobility Science Award, which is an OOC award. The sponsor of this award is the EPTS, the European Platform of Transport Science. And in order to represent the EPTS, please welcome the General Secretary. He's the one who created a network of transport scientists throughout Europe, Sebastian Belz.
Thank you very much, Wilma, for this kind introduction. I know that the last award is always the most difficult because there's just my speech and another guy's speech between us and the drinks reception and the party going on afterwards. So I try not to keep too much of your time. So what is the European Platform of Transport Sciences? What does it do? You're right, Wilma. We are trying to connect European transport and mobility scientists. That means we are going to all of the countries. We are dealing with all disciplines and with all transport modes. And we're trying to keep all them together to build up a network. We have member associations which combine 30,000 individuals, and I think this is a lot for Europe. And my job, just as a fun fact, we talked about car-free households and bicycle-free. My job is to travel all around Europe, and I'm all doing this by rail, so I try to avoid at least the aircraft. So we have an aircraft-free guy here too. So why do we do this? Why do we try to build this network? I think it is a very easy answer. Diversity needs curiosity. And as you know, Europe is a diverse continent with all the different nations, all the different people, all the heritage. And the mutual understanding between each other does need some kind of efforts. It does not come from itself. We're not just talking about transport sciences, we're talking about living in peace and welfare and harmony with each other, and that's our job. So don't take that for granted. We are hardly working on that. And my bottom line, so to say, please, you are a very good example of what we actually are trying to do too. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of talking to your neighbors. Don't be afraid of discussion. Don't be afraid of openness. And that's why I like to be here. Talk to your neighbors, get engaged. There are so many cool people around. So these 2 weeks of SDE, and I was here several times, that make me see all these excellently prepared houses, demonstration units. I was able to observe several teams. I was listening to their ideas. And it's simply amazing to see this combination. On the one hand, of course, it is competition, but on the other hand, it is partnership, it is friendship, even between the teams. And I'm really grateful to be here tonight to address this to you, because this is exactly what EPTS stands for too. So please enjoy your time in Wuppertal, stay open-minded, and take this unique spirit which you got here wherever you go afterwards. So thank you very much, and now we are going to the OOC Award.
And Sebastian will be joined. You just met Kerstin, who's the youngest member of the Presidium of the DVVG. Now he's already on his way because he's one of the scientists who is a member of the Presidium of the DVVG. Please welcome on stage Martin Kagerbauer.
Thank you very much. From the youngest members to the oldest, thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to make the laudatory speech here for the Applied Mobility Science Award. And it was really hard for the jury to decide a ranking because you all did a great job here and you all created wonderful solutions. Thank you very much for that. But the rules say that we have to have a ranking, and so we start with the ceremony. The team won the third place, created a smart, multifunctional outdoor furniture. At this station, users can repair, charge bicycles, and other micromobility modes. It is integrated with an urban gardening and a functional seating offer. The winner of the third place is the team from Stuttgart. Please come up.
Yeah, thank you for the prize. We're very happy to receive the award, and thanks to the team to have the energy to design or to work on the mobility concept until the end. And thanks.
Thank you very much. The team on the second place built and demonstrated a unique and sustainable training pavement that helps cities to adapt to climate change. Recycled ceramics form a strong, durable and aesthetically pleasurable surface for roads, sidewalks and bicycle lanes. The winner of the silver medal is Valencia. Please come.
Thank you very much. We are really proud to have this award, and it's really nice to have this small piece of Wuppertal and to take it home. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And the team on the first place built an attractive, modular, waterproof and well-designed e-cargo bike parking and charging box. The box contains an integrated charging station, toolbox and storage for a room for other devices or other supplies such as helmets and lights. The winner of the gold medal and the winner in the category of applied mobility science is Düsseldorf. Just two of us.
thank you very much. Everyone go to the HDU, so we didn't expect this. Thank you very much.
We are actually the biggest team, I guess, but right now it doesn't seem like this, but yeah. Thank you.
All the winners, please come up. Könnt ihr ein bisschen vor?
D-teams, ladies and gentlemen, the jurors, Sebastian and Martin, thank you all very much. And Sebastian already mentioned there's going to be a drinks reception at the Alte Glaserei, right? Okay. Plus there will be DJ music. His name is Daniel Ippendorf. From now on, so make sure you grab your drinks and enjoy the music, enjoy the night. Tomorrow we see each other again for the next awards and the closing ceremony. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.